Hey everybody, it's the Review Revolution, back at you again, and we are on the last boxed figure, the last on-card figure from the DC Universe Wave 11 series. It's been a fun ride, and we're going to wrap this up with the variant to the, the Collect and Connect base piece, Steppenwolf. I'm sure I pointed out earlier that with Deadman and Steppenwolf are the two figures that had variants. Deadman's variant, the only difference was that on his legs, the lower half of his legs, were actually translucent, and so for the most part he looked pretty much the same. You know, he might have been a slightly different color, but overall it was the same figure, just slightly different paint job. Steppenwolf, which is the official version, is entirely different from the variant. So if there was a variant that I wanted, it was going to be Steppenwolf, because you're pretty much getting almost a whole different character. It's actually very, very cool. This is also the last look at the DC Universe packaging. You know, I'm sure that no one's going to miss it. It's been around for a long time. We'll have some fun, looking over the old packaging, but you can see. Oh, one thing that I've been meaning to point out, because you don't often see the bottom of the packs in the reviews, but I did go ahead and just take a look, and I noticed that at the bottom it says, contains one figure and accessory. I checked that on all my DC Universe figures, and they all say contain one figure. Some say accessory, some don't. Now, this is figure and accessory 1. From what I can tell, it looks as though he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 accessories. So, the fact of the matter is that these are a little off. It's right about the figure. The accessories, not always so. So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep track of that. We're going to see if we can keep Maddie on their toes. Speaking of which, there's the MaddieCollector.com. On the back, other figures are the complete set, which we've kind of gone through all of them. Question, Shark, Deadman, Cyborg Superman, Kat Matui, John Stewart, Steppenwolf, and Steppenwolf. There's his bio. I mangled it enough the first time around. I won't give it another try. Instead, we'll take a moment. We'll pop the variant Steppenwolf out of the pack and have some fun. So be right back. All right, everybody. We've got the... thanks for sticking around. We've got the pointy-headed Steppenwolf out of his pack, and I said it with the official or the pictured Steppenwolf, but I have to say again, I really think that with this figure, not necessarily with this wave, but certainly with this figure and his variant, I think Mattel and the Four Horsemen really decided just to pull out all the stops and say, let's see how far we can take it. Let's see what we can do with this, because there are some really clever things here that I'm really excited to see how it's gonna work its way into future waves. Now, obviously, he's completely different from the Steppenwolf that was featured on the card. I guess the Superpowers version of him. But he has a lot of the same problems. Just to kind of get these out of the way real quick. In this case, whereas Steppenwolf had a collar on his upper torso around his neck to kind of limit the articulation, this one has even higher collar as part of his cape, which is very nicely sculpted. It's beautiful, but it has an even higher collar, which I guess it still lets it turn it a normal amount, but it really does just kind of hit it and get in the way. Nah, I mean, it looks cool. It still looks cool. Just like with the arm pads on the other Steppenwolf, he has kind of the puffy, kind of Prince Valiant shoulders, kind of the puffy shirt shoulders. Now, whereas on the one side, Steppenwolf with the axe has a strap that goes across his chest, this Steppenwolf not only has a strap across his chest, but he actually has a cape almost like it's flung over one shoulder. It isn't quite, but almost. And as such, it means that neither of the two arms are really going to go out much further than that. So, cool idea, just, a little busy up at the top, kind of keeps the arms from really kind of achieving any height in raising them up. They do turn just fine, and just like with the shoulder pads, it is a piece that just sort of fits in before the bicep is plugged in, and the bicep does have a twist, elbow and wrist. But the sculpt on that and the kind of the darker paint on the inside, I love that. That is just cool. I love that. That is awesome. He does have his, it isn't just a standard body for the most part, with just extra bits layered on top. So he has this very nice harness. I love the details with the kind of the V shape and the cut in it. That's really good. Comes all around, plugs into the kind of the skirt part here. It's really, really good. It's very nice. Now this piece is separate so that it doesn't really get in the way of his crunch. The skirt does slightly, I'm sure, it'll work its way loose a little bit, but the twist is a little weak. It's not quite as much. His legs do come out. They come out a bit, sort of like a Master Universe figure. Doesn't come out a whole lot. There is a twist at the thigh, which, if you look underneath here, you can see that the boot piece, the top of the boot, see here, the top of the boot is just a separate piece, much like the shoulder pads, where this one is just slipped over the knee before it's attached. And so you still have the twist. It's a little bit lower on the calf, but it's still there. Bends at the knee. And looks really cool. I love these kind of cavalier boots. These are just really, really cool. And I love the piece added. It's not much, but it totally gives the appearance. So that is great. And of course the foot. The pointy hat, which I'm sure everybody wants to take a quick look at. I don't really know this version of Steppenwolf very well. So the story behind him when he had this outfit, I'm not completely familiar with. But I remember seeing him. I remember seeing him in the comics, maybe in a flashback. Maybe I don't remember. But I love how they made him. I love how they put this guy together with all the little pieces, all the other kind of parts being put together in such a way that it doesn't do anything new to the sculpt, really. It just adds to it that gives them more variety to work with. That's totally awesome. In the way of his accessories, because the box did say there was an accessory, he does come with his sword. It's actually, pretty nice. I mean, it's a little basic, but then again, you don't want the sword to be busier than the costume. It's made of very soft plastic, so it's not like it warps in a bad way and has to be heated to be bent back in shape. Being that it's so soft, it actually has some room to be packaged in a little bit funny, and fits into his hand. Now, one thing, there's no place for him to store his sword, so he's got a lot of accessories. He just can't. If he's not holding them, there's no place to put them. But he can hold his sword. Comes with a whip. Again, very soft, very nice. It doesn't have a wire in it. A wire would have been kind of cool, but yeah, it's just a nice kind of sci-fi whip. Somehow, when I see it, I keep thinking that would make an excellent tentacle, Brainiac tentacle for conversion. If anybody has anything in mind, that actually would be really good. And that just actually slides in. like so. He comes with what looks to be like a war horn, which he doesn't have any extra hands for, and there's no place to put it, so blah. And lastly, he comes with the display base, which I neglected to show on the last Steppenwolf, but it's just the usual DC Heroes bases that we've seen so far. Stick around, guys. We still have Kilowog to go over. For now, this is the Review Revolution saying rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.